Absolutely. So my name is Joseph Austin Armstrong III, named after my grandfather. So I was born in Tennessee, and as you can tell by my accent, it's a little different than our colleague Chris Saniaka. So I did my PhD in Colorado and did a postdoctoral research in University of Virginia, Charlottesville, and then I had the great honor and pleasure to join Merck & Company in the Process Research Department in 1990. I was able to work through the ranks there, and in 2001, I became director, and I had the great opportunity to co-lead a program which became the drug Januvia for the treatment of type 2 diabetes. That molecule, we were able to invent new chemistry, and I was in charge of leading the whole team with many colleagues of leaders, specifically looking at the process research, the formulation, the drug metabolism profile of the compound, looking at the toxicity of that in animal studies to support the dosing in humans and the clinical supplies to make that compound. So we were very fortunate that in doing all the key studies for that compound, instead of being 12 to 15 years to complete all the chemistry and the studies for clinic, we did it in 3 years and 10 months. And it's still one of the fastest drugs that's used for the chronic treatment of the disease with full-blown carcinoid studies and outcome studies. After that, then I had the opportunity to go to the UK, and there I kind of jumped ship, and from process research, I went into formulation development and supported that team for 2 years. I was then able to stay in the UK for an extra year, and then I had the opportunity to lead all the sites around the world, so the site in Japan, the site in Montreal, the UK, and also in the US, and did that for a year. And then I came back to the US, and that's the time when Merck did a reverse merger with Schering-Plough, and I was asked to be the preclinical lead. So I took on process research, formulation development, DMPK, safety assessment, and clinical supplies, and from both companies created one huge organization, put discovery on top of that, and that became the new Merck. I had the opportunity to then lead a large portion of that organization globally, and then at the end of my career, I kind of jumped ship from process research, went into project management, and there I led the efforts for the oncology portfolio for Merck & Company for phase 1, the companion diagnostics, and also the oncology translational medicine for new biomarkers. And my final achievement at Merck was creating a new paradigm for doing oncology treatment of patients using combination of drugs, with small drugs and our large molecule called Keytruda, and using a decision tree process using orthogonal biomarkers. So during that whole time, my great friend Chris Saniaka had been continuing to ask me, let's start a company together. So finally, we decided to, I took an early retirement at Merck, and we created a company. So Chris has started a company, Asta Green, and he asked me to join in January 2019. Then I've now become Chief Operating Officer for TCG Green Chem after our Indian investors based with the TCG Group, the Chatterjee Group, invested in us in October 2019. One of the things we do with this company is use the innovation that Chris and I leveraged and learned and implemented in our previous roles at Merck and Boehringer Ingelheim to take that innovation and put it to a small company. So we really pride ourselves on being a contract innovator organization where we innovate for our clients. And we have large clients from the Gates Foundations to a large company, the Flow Corporation, started by the U.S. government to bring manufacturing of pharmaceuticals back to the U.S., and also with the NIH. So we have strategic partnerships in those regards, and also new technology partnerships that we're investing. And so our goal is to make molecules for the biotech and for pharma, and use innovation to make those drugs to really help people. So one of the things I think is really exciting about the conference, I've been involved in conferences for many years. And I had the, again, a great honor to lead a conference called Gordon Research Conference on Natural Products. And it was one of the first conferences that brought academics, industry, and government agencies together. And this conference is doing the same on a much larger scale than the conference that I was involved in. So that's a tremendous opportunity for us to learn from each other, because without that trivergent opportunity of people joining together and sharing ideas and learning about what each one can do to support the other one, is critical. Also, the foundation that's going to be created here hopefully will encourage the government, other VC firms, as one of the things I highlight in the panel discussion, is to commit to donate, to support capital for these young companies and be able to take the risk to become biotechs that can make drugs. It's a high-risk business. And so instead of just making generics, what India is known for, they do it tremendously. They support the world supply, 80% of the world supply in generics. use that knowledge and innovate. So we're hopeful that this conference will be the catalyst to really drive investors, government, industries to actually innovate in the new technologies and to make new medicines here for India, not only for India, but for the world. So for digitalization, one of the key things is that's a huge, it's just exploding in the world of pharma, is personal health care. So I think it was a comment of one of the people on the panel discussion today, is your iPhone watch, right? You can get an EKG on your iPhone watch. You can track everything about your system, from the blood sugar in your system with new technology that they have, to your blood pressure, to your pulse, how fast your heart is working. All of these things can get a tremendous amount of data. That data then can be used specifically when you're taking a new drug. You can actually now time that new drug and watch how it goes through your system and understand the impact on your health. So that access of data that we've never had before allows us to have smarter clinical studies, hopefully less people of patients to run a clinical study. It should accelerate our molecules moving from early clinic studies into late stage and et cetera, because with a smaller number of people and better data, you can really ascertain the effect of a drug. And also, you should be able to know what population is going to be most effective or most efficacious with that new medicine. So those are tremendous opportunities that the pharmaceutical companies are now just starting to embrace to help leverage the knowledge that exists already, but acquire new knowledge of a complete package of treating human health to accelerate it, to bring drugs to the marketplace.